All right, so with that, anybody have any questions?
Where do you see, or where would you like our focus in the next couple of years with the operations team?
Well, we want to scale up production to new heights. Obviously, with the Cybercab, we're going to be. Cybercab is not just revolutionary car design; it's also a revolutionary manufacturing process. So I guess we probably don't talk about that enough. But if you've seen the design of the Cybercab line, it doesn't look like a normal car manufacturing line. It looks like a really high-speed consumer electronics line. It's, in fact, the line will move so fast that that actually people can't even get close to it. Like that's, I think it'll be able to produce a car ultimately in less than 5 seconds. Like, can you imagine a car coming off the line in less than 5 seconds? That's like, whoa. Which means casting's got to happen fast. Yeah. So I mean, we got to jam the liquid metal in, cool it down real fast, and then I guess maybe we need to just get even bigger casting machines. Sure, why not? Down. Yeah, let's 50,000 tons. Because then we can make in a single casting machine we could do 5 at a time or something. Trying to think how do you scale castings because you got liquid metal's got to cool, and then you've got to automate, getting all the bits and pieces off the casting so it's usable. And that's actually kind of how they do it in small volume castings. They'll have a casting block that'll make 100 Matchbox cars at a time. We just make that real big. Yeah, I mean, we have the Cathedral of Casting back there. So yeah, let's do that. I mean, let's see what is the limit of physics of how big can a casting machine be? Let's find out. I'm down. Let's have some fun here. Push the limits of technology. All right.
Hi, Elon. I've been with Tesla for the last 8 years.
Cool. It
has been the most exhilarating 8 years of my career, and truly want to thank you for your leadership. I also have two little...
Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. I also have 2 little girls who spend their weekends cruising around in their very awesome Cybertruck.
Cool.
I'd love to know when we can add Optimus to the family.
Oh yeah, it's a good question. So this year we hopefully will be able to make about 5,000 Optimus robots. We're aiming for enough parts to make 10,000, maybe 12,000. But since it's a totally new product with totally new, everything is totally new, I'll say we're succeeding if we get to half of the 10,000. Now, but even 5,000 robots, that's the size of a Roman legion, FYI, which is a little scary thought, a whole legion of robots. I'd be like, whoa, okay. But I think we'll literally build a legion, at least one legion of robots this year, and then probably 10 legions next year. And I don't know, it's kind of a cool unit, units of Legion. So probably 50,000-ish next year. And then it's probably I'm hopefully ready for Optimus to be used outside of Tesla-controlled environment, or maybe around the middle of next year, second half of next year sometime. So I think that sounds about right. Probably second half of next year is when they'll be available. And then we will offer Optimus robots first to Tesla employees. So you guys get the priority. There are some pluses and minuses to that, because it's probably have a few bugs, but it's going to be very cool. You'll want to invite your friends over and say, check this out. So that's the other questions.
Hi, Elon.
Hey.
My name's Dom. I've been here for a little over a year now. I work in people development.
Okay.
We make so many amazing things.
Yeah.
Right now, it's still the people that do it.
Yes.
When we think about applying first principles to the relationships and the teams that people have, how would you encourage us to think about that and act on those first principles when it comes to relationships and teams?
Well, I think there are actually quite a few things I've written over the years that it would be good to compile into a booklet or something. Because I actually have to be reminded of those things myself. And I'm like, oh, I remember that thing that I thought of after making so many mistakes and trying to make fewer mistakes. So, there's for example, that 5-step process of make the requirements less dumb and then try to delete the part and process step, only then optimize, only then speed it up, and only the 5th thing is automate. I have to repeat that to myself many times because I've made the mistake of doing it backwards so many times. I think always operating on the principle that everyone is wrong to some degree, and we should aspire to be less wrong. over time, which we will not always succeed in doing. But if 2 days out of 3 you're less wrong over time, your batting average is going to be really good. So nobody ever bats 1,000, but you can improve your batting average. So I think rigorous, you want to critique yourself, you want to internalize responsibility. And these are all things I need to remind myself of. Just to be clear, I'm not like suggesting I internalize responsibility. Be less wrong. And we should remember what is our goal as a company. Our goal is to make amazing products that people love, and then to take care of those products and service. So we should say, what are we doing to make our products better, to make them more affordable, to have the customer experience be delightful, because that's actually the purpose of a company. Sometimes people forget, why does a company exist? A company exists, it's a group of people collected together to produce a compelling product or service that others find useful, and where the value of the product and service is greater than the cost of what it took to make that product. So sometimes, weirdly, profit is like viewed negatively, but really profit is just the difference in value between the output and the input. It's like, what did it cost you to make it, and what did it cost you, and what are people prepared to pay for it? That's the value that you created. So it's tough, actually, even to maintain like a 10% profitability, which is to make the output 10% more valuable than the input. That's actually quite hard, especially in the car industry, which is very competitive. So we should just not lose sight of, like, why are we here? Oh, we're here to make useful products that people love, and take care of them over time. So then, how are we doing in that respect, and how can we do that better?
What advice would you give a young person like getting into the stock market? Like,
Stock advice. Wow.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As I think people can perhaps tell who are watching this, these questions are not prepared in advance. This is literally random questions from the crowd, which is cool. I'm fine with that. And I think that it's going to sound very, very straightforward, but you want to really buy stock in companies where you think the products that company makes will be better in the future. Is that company going to make more and better products? Or do you love the products that company makes, and are they going to keep doing that? And I think Tesla, as I've just gone through, Tesla has a track record of having made many great products, and we're going to make many more future great products, and we're going to scale up production, and I think we've demonstrated a level of innovation that is extremely rare. Certainly by far the most innovative company in the car industry, not even close. I do think Tesla stock actually, long term, with Optimus and self-driving, Tesla will probably be the most valuable company in the world. But there are also other companies out there that make great products and services. So I think that's the way you want to look at it. Say, do you think this product, because that's the reason why companies exist, is to make great products and services. So if you think that a company is going to improve over time, then buy the stock, and if you don't, then don't. And then the stock market it's a very strange thing. It's kind of like, I think it's Warren Buffett's sort of metaphor or analogy is, the stock market's like having someone stand at the edge of your property or your house and yell prices to buy or sell your house every day. And sometimes they take their meds and sometimes they don't, So sometimes the person yelling out the price of your house is having a good day, and sometimes they're having a bad day. But it's still the same house. It's literally still the same house. So Tesla stock goes up and it goes down, but it's still the same company. It's just people's perception of the future. I don't know, I guess it's just very emotional, So, but for me, while it's difficult to predict how things will be from, in the next, say, 6 to 12 months, if you say, where will things be in 3 years or 5 years, the future of Tesla is incredibly bright. Hi, yes. You say, will the robot take your job, or what? That's a fair question. Well, is the robot going to come steal your job? A reasonable question. I think what we'll find with the robots is that there'll be a ratio of people to robots. So you'll effectively end up having managing a group of robots. So you'll have basically, I don't know, your flock or your little group of robots that you take care of, and you tell them what to do. And I don't know, you'll have a little pack of robots basically. Yeah, you're promoted to manager. One way to think of it. I think the same thing will be true of cars. Like, so for the self-driving cars, is that people that are, say, Uber drivers today or something like that, or taxi drivers today, will end up managing a fleet of cars. And that'll be a much more effective use of their time. Just taking care of like 10, 20 cars or however many they can take care of.
Hello, my name is Adrian.
Hey.
You said that your companies are made to make products people love.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of airplanes or trains?
Yeah, I mean, I'd actually love to make airplanes, especially, but stretched pretty thin. So I have like 17 jobs. At this point, I just go to sleep, work, go to sleep, work, and then do that 7 days a week, pretty much. People say, like, where do you go on vacation? I'm like, what's that? But I guess I like being productive. I like getting things done. So I guess I could choose to be like on an island somewhere, sipping a Mai Tai, with attractive people in bikinis and stuff. Why am I not doing that? What? What a fool I've been. I've actually thought about aircraft designs for a long time, and I think there's an interesting opportunity to make like an electric supersonic VTOL jet. The VTOL is like cherry on the cake, but certainly long-range, fast electric airplane would be very cool. Maybe at some point we'll do that. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. We do have the ingredients for it. So, and then there is the potential for, again, we're like thinking like pretty far into the future here of not a conventional train, but that sort of hyperloop, essentially a vacuum tunnel, like tunnels where you draw a vacuum so there's no air resistance, and you have very high-speed autonomous electric pod in a vacuum tube, a vacuum tunnel. That would allow you to go from city center to city center much faster than any airplane could possibly go, because going into an underground vacuum tunnel would it'd be like teleporting to super high altitude, effectively, which no plane could do. And then it could deliver you right to the center of a city. And that, I don't know, maybe that's some future collaboration with the Boring Company and Tesla. I got a million ideas. I had more ideas than I know what to do with. Ideas are kind of the easy part. Execution is the hard part. As they say, it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration.
Work in manufacturing engineering. Since 2018, I've done a bunch of different things here, kind of like energy products, Model 3, Model Y, cyber, and now we're looking forward to Optimus, maybe the biggest product ever.
Yeah, it will be.
And I think about the mission statement of the company, and it's evolved. It used to be a sustainable transportation, then sustainable energy. Is it going to evolve again? Are we going to reformulate that officially to kind of explain to the world better about how Optimus and AI folds into the rest of the fabric of the company?
Yeah, I mean, I touched on this briefly earlier, but you're right that I think we do need to articulate it more prominently and maybe more often, because it's really about sustainable abundance. Can we have a future of abundance for all that is also sustainable and compatible with nature? So we're not destroying nature, but you also get abundance for everyone on Earth. Sounds like the best possible future. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Yes, sir. My name is Aaron Armstrong. It's not every day that you get to be in the presence of somebody that's accumulated so much wealth and success. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to ask for any wisdoms or secrets that you may have to offer about this game of life that we're all trying to play.
Sure. I mean, I try to say everything that I know. Although admittedly, sometimes I'm, like I posted on X. I guess should I ask the AI to look through all of my X posts and pick out the ones that are really good, because I try to say any good ideas that I have. I try to post them. I think generally it's good to always be curious and to read widely. Like read a lot of interesting books, especially history. I find history really interesting, and I find like biographies and autobiographies to be also very interesting. I think it's good to read, especially autobiographies, where somebody has done something incredible and they wrote the book themselves or mostly themselves. That'll give you a lot of ideas. I mean, something that I do is I'll get audiobooks because I got like so much going on in my mind it's kind of hard to go to sleep because it's like having a computer browser with like 100 tabs open. That's by the end of the day I got like 100 tabs open. It's like, I gotta close this browser, you know? That's my brain. That's my brain. So then I'll listen to an audiobook, and I'll put it on a timer, and it's like 15 minutes. It's like being read a bedtime story by your phone. So podcasts and audiobooks, especially at bedtime, or I find are great. Or sorry, I can't hear you. Oh, there's a city in South Texas which is Starbase. So it's a city for cities maybe makes it sound bigger than it is, but it's a really a small town plus a giant rocket factory. That's Starbase, and it's South Texas and Starbase, Texas, right by the Rio Grande, and you can just literally drive there because it's on a state highway, so you can just drive through it, check it out. I do own a piece of property that's just across the river. That's kind of cool. It used to be like a horse place, like where they would give horse riding lessons and stuff. And at some point, I think it would be cool I want to do like this gigantic art project there. That's looks like an alien planet, like right across the river. But like that people could visit, you know. So then I might like live there occasionally, but really it's a place to to envision sort of an alien planet art project across the river. It'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Do we foresee Tesla making a product that helps how we spend money? Well, I think the AI is going to help us spend money better. It's kind of amazing, what AI can do these days. I don't know if anyone here has used Grok, but it's pretty cool. Grok Voice can be really pretty great too. I should try Grok Unhinged. It's guaranteed to be entertaining at a party. I 1,000% promise you, if you try Grok Voice Unhinged at a party, it's going to be a big hit. So, but you can also ask it any questions. So, like if you want to ask questions about life advice or things or anything, like you can really ask, you can ask it about cryptocurrency if you want. You can ask it about medical advice. You can ask it's very good, and it's getting better. So, I think more try using Grok. It's really pretty cool. Yeah, sure. Cool. So we're in phase 3 of the master plan, since master plan 1 and 2 have been completed. Now master plan part 3 is a very long master plan because it's basically making all energy on Earth sustainable. And I actually need to supplement it with the sort of abundance for all. Maybe that's master plan 4. I've kind of described master plan 4 essentially, which is like autonomous cars, autonomous humanoid robots. You combine that with like solar and battery storage, and I think the future is going to be incredible. So I'll take a couple more questions and call it a night. Well, I'll ask if you haven't asked a question before, you can ask a question. Okay. Oh, well, there are actually some Optimus robots being built in Fremont right now. So we'll show what that was, but. But we expect to have an Optimus production line here as well. So there'll be Optimus production starting in the Bay Area, and then we'll have the even bigger Optimus production line here in Austin. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of robots. So, ultimately, I think we'll be making tens of millions of robots a year type of thing. It's like serious volume. Maybe 100 million robots a year. It's wild. Yeah. All right, well, last question. Okay. It's about sustainability? Abundance, yes. Yes. Obviously utopia could be dystopia. So we have to, usually any story about utopia ends up being dystopia. We want to avoid that. But nonetheless, I think if you say, what's the best future you can think of? I think a future of sustainable abundance plus space travel, that's pretty great. Yeah. Oh, we need adversity. Well, you make a good point. If things actually get too easy, maybe we get bored and you kind of want to some degree, overcome adversity. It's like if you play a game of some kind, you want the game to be not too easy and not too hard. And maybe the future will be too easy, potentially, is what you're saying. It's a high-class problem, But I think we'll still have human-to-human competitions. If you look at, say, athletics or even mind games like chess, although computers can beat any human at chess is actually at an all-time high in popularity. And although cars can go faster than any humans, we still have athletic sports where humans compete against each other. So I think we'll still have human versus human competitiveness. I think long term we will also have enhancement of humans, or optionally, if somebody wants to enhance, have cybernetic enhancements, like with Neuralink. If you want to go cybernetic and, I don't know, maybe have super intelligence and be able to see, in different wavelengths. We could absolutely provide superhuman abilities via Neuralink in the future. So one thing's for sure, the future is going to be very interesting. In fact, I think generally I find that the most interesting outcome is the most likely. Or said another way, maybe the most entertaining outcome, especially if ironic, is the most likely. It's almost like we're in an alien Netflix series that's trying to have the highest possible ratings. And if you think about it, that's kind of what happens, Which it doesn't mean it's always good, because to your point, if you wouldn't really want to watch a show where things are great and stay great. I'm like, oh, that's boring. You want to watch a show where there's a narrative arc where things go up and they go down, they go back up again, and you don't know exactly what's going to happen next. And I think we might be in an alien Netflix series here. So we're just going to keep the ratings up so we don't get canceled. All right, thank you guys.